Hi, it's Bree from Breezy Special Ed, and today I want to show you a bit of my file folders and how I use them in my classroom. I love file folder activities because they are easy to store. In here, I don't even know how many file folders I have, probably like close to 70 or more, and they all fit nicely in this crate. Obviously, you can store them in a file folder cabinet too, so they're compact. So that's always good because we're always looking to save space in our classrooms, right? And there's just so many different things you can do with file folders. Students always think they're a game, which I love, but they're actually learning. So here's an example of one in my laundry pack on clean or dirty. And see, it's just kind of fun and also like real life. So we have a dresser here and a laundry basket over here, and then the students sort the clothes. See, this shirt has a little stain on it, so it would be on the dirty side, where these pants are totally clean, so they go on the dresser side. So this is kind of like recognizing those subtle differences and then determining attributes like clean or dirty. Let me show you one from my kitchen file folder set. So here we have turning up the heat using the oven. So this is a skill you might not be able to practice in your classroom, but an important life skill to have. So what students do here is they will just turn the knob from off to the correct degree. And it's kind of hard to see the knob in the camera, but you can see it pretty good in real life. So then they would turn it to 500 or whatever it said. And if you wanted to make it easier for some students, you could just have them turn all of the knobs to off. Be like, you know, it's safe if the oven's off, make sure all of the knobs are off. So that's an example. You could do another example from the kitchen set is this fridge or cabinet activity. And then we have various different foods for students to store in the fridge or in the cabinet. Let's see, what else do we have in the kitchen I could show you? All right, some like measuring liquids. Okay, so this is a matching level. So they're just gonna match the color and the right amount. And this one was actually not matched correctly, but you get the point. So you could see just even in that one set alone for kitchen, there's a ton of different skills that can be worked on. I also have a file folder set on grocery skills. And I love this because grocery store is such like a real life skill activity, right? But I can work on some really simple skills. So this one, stock the cans or stock the shelves. That's a real vocational activity, right? Like students can stock the shelves as a job. So here they would have to look closely because it's the picture on the can, not the can itself, and put the cans on the right shelf. Okay, so this is really a matching activity, but made vocational. And it's more age appropriate for our higher, older students. And this one, snack sort the sizes. Again, just sorting between small and large. So simple skills, but they have a life skill twist. Here's another matching one, shopping lists, okay? And I added picture support over here so students can match the picture. There's also another level of this one without the picture, so they would be reading the word and matching the picture. Because will they go grocery shopping in the future, and what will they use to be successful? Will they use a picture list or will they use a word list? So that is excellent practice. I'm looking at the other grocery store ones. We have some sorting, like fruits and vegetables. Dairy and meat sorts. And another item match, so this is a little bit easier matching than the cans as they are all very obvious. There's also a money one, which I had out the other, oh, here it is. Cash register. So there's two levels of this one too. This one, the cash register says a total like $20 and you match the 20. The other version of this level 2 would say like $17 and you have to put the higher bill on there. So again, life skill crammed into this little small file folder. I pretty much showed you all the grocery store file folders because I love them, but I'll not do that to the rest of them, I promise, because then this video would be forever long. So here's some money identification. I love to work on bills with my students because if they haven't learned to identify coins yet, they might not. Okay, my students are in high school, so we work on bills. It's much more functional, and I think it's easier to recognize too as they have different colors where, you know, coins, pennies easy, but the other ones can be tricky. So that's from money identification. There's also coins ones like that. We have some household sorts, so sorting whether it goes in the living room or the kitchen. Have some community sign ones. This one is sorting enter and do not enter. So this one is the sorting level. There's also a matching level with these right under it, so it works for your students who are matching and your students who are sorting. Here's some fun school ones, sorting between PE and art. There's a whole bunch of different ones like that in the school file folders. Here's the match the dice. I like this one as like a basic number one, so they can count or match the dice. And then there's also counting the dice. I'll show you one of those. Okay, so put all the ones that say 1 here, 2, 3, etc. And there's also like 2 dice together. How many does that equal? And I just think that's such a functional way to teach counting because then our students can play games and they can count those and have that all work out. Let's see what else we have. Here's another one from the community sign ones that I like, men in a women's restroom sort, because that's pretty important. And there's all these different kinds of bathroom signs because they all look different, but they all are similar, as you know. Another one I really like here is my time set. This one has color support for students who are working on recognizing the numbers, but then they can practice their time skills just like everyone else. But it might be more of a color match until they are ready to move on to the next level. There's analogs like that too. Here's an analog match. You can see they just match the correct clock to the correct spot. And then obviously there's more advanced ones. Okay, and I didn't show you very many from the laundry section. This one I love. It's color coding, like how often do we work on color matching skills with our students, but by the time they get to high school, it can seem a little elementary school. So here is sorting by color for clothes. I know quite a few of my students have jobs in thrift stores, and a lot of times thrift stores like to organize by color. So that's a super fun and functional way to work on sorting colors. Couple other ones from the laundry one are like sorting hats and shoes. Sorting laundry between whites and colors. Okay, so those are just some of my totally awesome file folders. So do you have a file folder station in your classroom? Do you love it? If not, maybe think about starting one. My students always seem to think they're games, so they love to play them. It's great to pull out when you have an emergency meeting or an emergency situation to deal with and your parents are taking over or you have sub. Just say, hey, everyone can do some file folders. If you end up with some extra time at the end of the activity, you can use file folders for that. You can use file folders for work boxes, really a ton of different things. So now a couple ways to store your file folders or to prep them for students, I guess. What I'm saying, like right before you give it to a student, what you do. So you can, just right before you do it, just take all the pieces off and kind of shove them in the middle if you're not ready for them to open it yet. If they're in a work box, no big deal. You just kind of let them float. Or, and that's what I did. It always seemed to work for me. But some people might not be able to do that all the time. So another option is to use little sandwich bags and just put a piece of Velcro on the back. And then you can put your pieces in the bag and then Velcro it to anywhere on the file folder, and then students can just open it up, grab all the pieces out of the file folder or out of the baggie, and they'll be ready to go. So that's a good option for a lot of people, I know, especially if they want to prep a whole bunch at once. But then of course you have to take them all off and put them into the bag beforehand. So it's just whatever works for you. And really giving the file folders to the students and getting them ready to go is super quick. What does take the most time is actually prepping the file folders and getting them ready to go. So real quick, I'll kind of show you, or just tell you how I do that. So first what you're going to do is cut out the label at the top, this part, and glue those on. I like to use a stick glue because it makes it nicer on the file folder. And then you're going to take the two pieces of paper and just glue them inside. After you're done that, you can get them laminated. If you have a big school laminator, that is the best way to go. If not, there's different ways you can do it at your personal home laminator. Just search Google and you'll find a few different ways. Some people like to cut the file folder in half and do it twice. Some people just have to trim a little bit off the edge. It depends on your laminator. But there are ways to do it at home. And then there will be separate pages of these pieces that you add on. So you will laminate those separately. And then you just have to cut them all out and add Velcro. But I get the Velcro dots off Amazon. It will save your life. I used to use strip Velcro, and I would cut it into little strips like you can kind of see here. And guys, that took so long and it hurt my fingers and it was hard to pull off. Then you had to cut Velcro all the time. So believe me, you're worth it. Get Velcro dots, and Amazon is a super cheap place to do it. So I hope that video helped answer some of your questions about file folders, and I hope you'll start using them in your classroom. Thanks for watching, and feel free to visit me at brizzyspecialed.com. Bye.